This is a funny article it's actually on Bloomberg. It's on Bloomberg.
Bloomberg opinion, yeah. And I thought this was a joke when I first read it, so I saved the link and I wanted to show it to you. You already read the title, and okay, it's a little unfair to talk about somebody that's not here to defend themselves, but this Teresa is the Schwartz Professor of Economics at the New School for Social Research. It's amazing how titles, the longer they are, I think they sound better, Anyway, she points out that, hey, inflation is here, and she has some good stats, and she does have 2 solid points. I will give her that, and I'll highlight those in a minute. But the majority of it is just hogwash. It's ridiculous. It's almost laughable. And if you're an average Joe reading this, I don't know how you're not insulted. But again, that's my opinion, not everybody's. You pointed out. She starts it off with, if your income is more than $289,000 a year, the run-up in gas prices may be alarming, but it's unlikely to hammer your overall finances. The higher 1%ers or wealthy people pay only about 1% on gas and oil of their take-home pay. Obviously, that's a lot higher percentage for us lower income earners. She points out about food prices, energy prices, and such like that, but then she gets to how do you deal with it and some changes to be made. And she says, I expect that most affected will adjust to inflation in a classic way by shifting away from relatively expensive items toward close substitutes. Here are some ideas to do that. First, this is a good point. I mentioned she had 2. This is solid for everybody to pay attention to. First, you have to know your budget to control your budget. Budget takes effort, but it gives you power, and the power is even more important in inflationary times. That is great. She should have stopped there, good investing, and signed her name. That's smart. Everybody's on a budget, Frank. We're just on different size budgets. Her idea to deal with gas prices is to consider public transportation if it's an option for you. She points out that fares are only up about 8% compared with gasoline prices, thank you, Joe, are up 38%. How about that? And she says now may even be the time to sell your car. It certainly isn't time to buy a new or used one. Prices have stabilized a bit, but Frank, used car prices are still up more than 40% from a year ago, and new car prices are up 12%. So what's the takeaway? Ride the bus and sell your car to deal with higher gas prices. When it comes to food, animal-based products, who likes real meat, Frank? It's skyrocketing as well. We can live off plants and vegetables. And if you're a pet owner, now Frank's going to be upset with me because Frank, out of the 2 of us, Frank is the animal guy, not Daniel. I don't dislike animals. I'm just not an animal person. And she says, if you are one of the many Americans who became a new pet owner during the pandemic, you might want to rethink those costly pet medical needs. It may sound harsh. Frank, you got to let me know if you've ever even heard of this. It may sound harsh, but researchers actually don't recommend pet chemotherapy, which can cost up to $10,000 for ethical reasons. One quick side note here, Frank, and I'll give you back the floor. I have a good buddy of mine, great friend of mine out in Arizona. They have a dog. They have pet insurance now. Now, I think the dog has had not 1, but 2 ACL surgeries. ACL surgeries. Thousands of dollars. And he made a comment to me, and I can genuinely say I love this guy. He made a comment with me with a straight face about how, man, I'm glad we have pet insurance because it would have cost an arm and a leg.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, people, where I come down to with pets is if my pet needed not 1 but 2 ACLs, I wouldn't have a pet anymore. The pet would be in heaven. It would be comfortable.
I'm telling you,
it'd
Peter's going to close us down.
I know. Daniel at CurzioResearch.com.
Yeah.
I grew up with a dog. Loved the dog. It was Chance.
Peter is
wonderful.
More powerful than the EPA. I mean, two places you don't want to mess with because it has nothing really to do with anything that they support. They just love the power. And I'm saying that from an animal lover, but it's just funny. It's the truth. It's the truth. But yeah, I just think it's funny just putting it. But yeah, pet insurance. Yeah, all right, just let them die. Let them die and whatever. And again, they're like family and people who, have dogs and that's all they have. And maybe they lost family members and stuff like that, whatever. And I get it. We just have like a million animals that are all,
Frank, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Would you spend $10,000 to keep a pet alive?
Depends how old it was.
All right. I respect that. I sat next to a guy, a gentleman on an airplane who said that they spent $10,000 on a cat, him and his wife. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the guy that says, "Oh, I think you're stupid because of doing that." I'm just simply saying I'm not that guy to do it. To each their own. You love you're right. They're like family. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying, hey, that ain't me.
Yeah, some things mean more. People will spend $2 million on a car, or like we just met with the Bentley, $500,000. It's just people can spend what they want to spend on and what they believe in. It's not even that. What I do want to go back real quick is the article because when you're looking at Teresa Giarducci, which she is A professor of economics at the New School for Social Research. So the New School for Social Research is a graduate place that is, and I give you some statistics here, 800 graduate students in New York City, 75 plus full-time faculty members. And then you look at the academics. It's liberal studies, politics, sociology, economics, gender and sexuality studies, creative publishing, and critical what's critical journalism? What is critical journalism? I don't know what critical journalism is. Do you?
I don't know what half the stuff is.
Isn't journalism? Critical journalism. That means you're going to disagree with everyone.
Serious.
I mean, what is
serious?
I want to look it up. What is critical journalism? Like it's almost like, hey, if you want to be controversial and throw yourself out there and support what's the girl that is actually swimming as I don't even know if I'm going to say this right because they might throw me off the network because I don't know what month it is because it changes if it's
the Leah.
Yeah, if it's transgender, I think that's the proper way to say it. I mean, it changes all the time. I think so, but you're talking about. I mean, if I knew this seriously, I mean, I kind of wish I had boys. I'd say, hey, you know what? You can get scholarships and set world records and make a fortune, right? I mean, if I was LeBron James, man, imagine him playing against everybody. I mean, what's so funny is how this. Remember the women's movement, the Me Too movement. This totally trumps them. This totally, if you're a woman, you're a piece of garbage because we're like, that was like the Me Too movement. Women, fought how hard to get equal rights. And now, I mean, this is like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't care. They're setting records. Yeah, we don't care. And to me, this is laughable, but it's one of those issues that, they want you to talk about. They want to be controversial. They want to yell top of the roost. This way people argue and debate, and this is what they want. And in politics, it gets more page views. But it's just funny how this is actually an agenda, right? I mean, does it help anybody? I don't know. Does it really? I mean, the bottom line is when you're looking at stuff like this, you have to be careful what you're reading, like inflation. Whatever. It hurts everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you make. And you can say, well, it's going to hurt me less if I make more money. If you make more money, it's probably like dollar-wise, it's going to crush you even more because so many of these people, if you're making millions of dollars, I mean, I've been in this for 30 years. I've interviewed a lot of people. I know a lot of wealthy people. Usually people make a lot of money, live well beyond their means. It's always like, because it gets to the point where I need to show you and I need to show my neighbors. And it gets to the point where now you have these massive expenses that are going to only increase dramatically. Right. So, not that I'm putting anything on them. It's their own fault. But even, let's say the people who don't own assets, that didn't participate, in that move where, that we've seen in inflation over the past 3-4 years, it's been rising. And, if you own assets, that's great. Your home price, everything, your cars, much, much higher, collectibles, whatever. But if you don't have that now, look at the bills that you're paying and food and stuff like that. It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, going out, I went to Jersey Mike's. And I got a foot-long sandwich that I split with my wife. And it was $21 for the meal, which is a soda and a bag of chips.
You got 2 sodas, obviously.
1 soda.
1 soda, 2 straws?
1 soda, and I had to get another soda. It was $21.
Whew.
I mean, why don't you charge $30? What's the difference? It's getting to that point, which is crazy. Anyway.